2015, we watched active measures on nearly any disaffected U.S. audience, whether it be claims of the U.S. military declaring martial law during the Jade Helm exercise, chaos amongst Black Lives Matters protests, or a standoff at the Bundy Ranch. Russia's state-sponsored outlets of RT and Sputnik News, characterized as white outlets, churned out manipulated truths, false news stories, and conspiracies. They generally lined up under 4 themes. 1, political messages designed to tarnish democratic leaders and institutions. 2, financial propaganda created to weaken confidence in financial markets and capitalist economies. 3, social unrest crafted to amplify divisions amongst democratic populaces. And 4, global calamity pushed to incite fear of global demise, such as nuclear war or catastrophic climate change. From these overt Russian propaganda outlets, a wide range of English-speaking conspiratorial websites, which we refer to as gray outlets, some of which mysteriously operate from Eastern Europe and are curiously led by pro-Russian editors of unknown financing, sensationalize these conspiracies and fake news published by white outlets. American-looking social media accounts, the hecklers, honeypots, and hackers I described earlier, working alongside automated bots, further amplify this Russian propaganda amongst unwitting Westerners. Through the end of 2015 and start of 2016, the Russian influence system began pushing themes and messages seeking to influence the outcome of the U.S. presidential election. Russia's overt media outlets and covert trolls sought to sideline opponents on both sides of the political spectrum with adversarial views towards the Kremlin. They were in full swing during both the Republican and Democratic primary season and may have helped sink the hopes of candidates more hostile to Russian interests long before the field narrowed. Senator Rubio, in my opinion, you anecdotally suffered from these efforts. The final piece of Russia's modern active measures surfaced in the summer of 2016 as hacked materials were strategically leaked. The disclosures of WikiLeaks, Guccifer 2.0, and DC Leaks demonstrated how hacks would power the influence system Russia had built so successfully in the previous 2 years. As an example, on the evening of 30 July 2016, my colleagues and I watched as RT and Sputnik News simultaneously launched false stories of the U.S. airbase in Incirlik, Turkey being overrun by terrorists. Within minutes, pro-Russian social media aggregators and automated bots amplified this false news story. More than 4,000 tweets in the first 78 minutes after launching this false story, linked back to the active measures accounts we'd tracked in the previous 2 years. These previously identified accounts, almost simultaneously appearing from different geographic locations and communities, amplified the fake news story in unison. The hashtags pushed by these accounts were nuclear, media, Trump, Benghazi. The most common words found in English-speaking Twitter user profiles were God, military, Trump, family, country, conservative, Christian, America, and Constitution. These accounts and their messages clearly sought to convince Americans a U.S. military base was being overrun in a terrorist attack. In reality, a small protest gathered outside the gate, and the increased security at the airbase sought to secure the arrival of the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. Many of the accounts we watched push the false Incirlik story today focus on the elections in Europe, promoting fears of immigration or false claims of refugee criminality. They've not forgotten about the U.S. either. This past week, we observed social media accounts discrediting Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, hoping to further foment unrest inside U.S. democratic institutions. The implications of Russia's new active measures model will be twofold. The first is what the world is witnessing today, a Russian challenge to democracies throughout the West. But more importantly, over the horizon, Russia has provided any authoritarian dictator or predatory elite equipped with hackers and disrespectful of civil liberties a playbook to dismantle their enemies through information warfare. The U.S., in failing to respond to active measures, will surrender its position in the world as the world's leader, forego its role as chief promoter and defender of democracy, and give up on over 70 years of collective action to preserve freedom and civil liberties around the world. Russia's strategic motto for America and the West is divided they stand and divided they will fall. It's time the United States reminds the world that despite our day-to-day policy debates and political squabbles, we stand united alongside our allies in defending our democratic system of government from the meddling of power-hungry tyrants and repressive authoritarians that prey on their people and suppress humanity. I'll close here with my opening remarks, but I have many recommendations which are in my written testimony. Mr. Chairman, I ask that my full written statement, which includes these recommendations, be submitted to the record, and I hope that during the question and answer session, we can further discuss how we might counter these active measures. Thank you for inviting me.
Mr. Watts, thank you for your testimony, and all written testimony will be included as part of the record. the chair and the vice chairman are going to exit and vote. I'm going to recognize Senator Risch for his questions and in